My assigned topic is about socio-economic component of EIA, which is the data consideration in conducting socio-economic. First is matching the scale focus of EIA with the characteristics of the proposed development and the concerns of responsible authorities and potential affected communities and individuals. Next is minimizing adverse impact while enhancing beneficial impact. It's because the impact of the project can damage over time that can benefit not only the individual but also the society as a whole. Example, increase access to employment, business and training. Using the precautionary principles and other international recognized CEIA principles. Principle that ensures a substance or activity using a threat to the environment is prevented by the adversely affect it. It is focusing on impact that are at least partially attributable to the proposed development. Focus on different impact of proposed development to clearly identify and understand and then easily to prevent or minimize. Involving various potentially affected communities in the CEIA early and extensively. Involve in any communities that are affected to identify the main cause and easy to find a mitigating. Conducting long-range, forward-looking studies that rely on the insight of past experiences. So, to study the full life cycles of proposed development, including the pre-constructions and the post-closure stages. Here is kailangan natin i-include yung mga 4 phases. Then, when possible, incorporate assessment of outcomes and lesson learned from case study of previous similar development or from community experiences. Impact equity. So, no group of people, particularly those that might be considered more sensitive or vulnerable as a result of age, gender, ethnicity, race, occupation, or other factors, should have been bear the brunt of adverse social impact, using experts from the government and communities and social science. So, in conducting the socio-economic is we need to seek for help from a CIA practitioners for us to guide our projects. Like for example, in a barangay staff, so in doing development is we need to participate or seek for help on a committee which is the kapitan, barangay kapitan. So for us to guide and to determine the past and current developments impacts to the socio-economic and cultural environment. Next is we need to use reliable or appropriate and relevant information from a primary and secondary sources. Primary research methods and analysis should be objective and reasoned as possible while remaining flexible enough to recognize the value of reported personal and community experience. Next is use appropriate indicators for the Mackenzie values. These Mackenzie values is to collect information in the form of indicators that are relevant to the involved communities and jurisdictions. The developer must understand and incorporate the socioeconomic context and the values of communities and jurisdictions while determining indicators for baseline condition. So we need to study each involves communities independently as well as doing regional and territorial impact assessments as necessary. Next is the balance traditional knowledge and scientific knowledge. So, incorporate traditional knowledge into EIA for as described by the Review Board guidelines for incorporating traditional knowledge. So, while respecting specific local rules and customs. So, we need to focus on collecting and analyzing qualitative and quantitative data. Last one is after those following um, following in conducting this socioeconomic is we need always to follow up and monitor socioeconomic and cultural mitigation measure. So ongoing monitoring and public reporting are fundamental to any effective mitigation plan. So when possible, identify the limits of manageable change for the assessed indicators of manageable change for the sensitivity. The last one is after those following following in conducting this socioeconomic is we need always to follow up and monitor socioeconomic and cultural mitigation measure. So ongoing monitoring and public reporting are fundamental to any effective mitigation plan. So when possible, identify the limits of manageable change for the assessed indicators of manageable change for the sensitivity.